Hey everyone, it's Monday, August 26th, 2019, and before you click away, I want to let you know this is a very different kind of video. It's really long. Take a look, it's like 30 minutes, and what you're about to see are some old, never before seen private vlogs that I did between 2012 and 2013 while I was making Steven Spielberg and the Return to Film School. And when you see me update you on the films, this is something that I like to do. They're very processed. I'm putting on a different face and telling you what you want to hear, what I think you want to hear. And the vlogs that I rediscovered within the last year kind of shocked me. How looking at them and seeing how much I've changed, but I guess more how honest they were. And so what you're about to see are a lot of very personal moments during that filmmaking process. And obviously, at the time, it seemed like maybe the world was crumbling around me and everything revolved around me. So look at it with that lens. And also, you don't actually have to watch it. It could be a podcast if you want to. But I encourage you, if you're going to go for it, just watch the whole thing because it does show the complete story. And at the very end, we'll recap and talk a little bit about, hopefully, what I've learned. And see, that was real. That was a honk. And hopefully, I hope that you watching this will give you a chance to think about how to overcome any adversity in your own life. So, good luck. See you at the end. Hey, it's Joshua. Today's Tuesday, June 19th, 2012, and it's about time that I finally give you an update on the Steven Spielberg project, which has been 18 months in the making so far, and I'm making some progress. Got to a first draft of the script a few months ago, but now I'm here in my apartment this summer, and my goal, my first and foremost goal, pretty much is to lock this script down, at least the structure, and it's been tricky. I want to show you what I have here so far. I really needed to get a chance to write all this stuff out. It's pretty rough, but this is basically what I learned from school and read. But I just wanted to be able to lay it out. Here's the structure of the whole film. There's some comments. One of my references has been Steven Spielberg YouTube videos. He's got a lot of them. They're just mostly interviews, other things he says about life and stuff. And one of those things is basically that you have to listen to the whisper that's inside of you. I got a chance to watch some more Schindler's List today, and it's a tearjerker, and it's great. And there's this one scene in the movie right here, and it's going to feature a very real story from Steven's life. And this scene is meant to parallel the movie Schindler's List. In an interview, Steven mentions how Schindler's List was shot in black and white because it's more real that way, it's more honest. And that's how I see this scene. And it's the one scene in the whole film that's going to be 100% real. Because it really did happen. And this one scene, pretty much, you could almost say the whole film perhaps could rest on how well that one scene is done. And so, I think I have that scene. It's just, can I make the rest of the story work towards pretty much that one scene? So, whoever's watching this, hopefully you've enjoyed something that's come out of this. So, thank you. It's been a long, maybe about 6 hours of working on Steven Spielberg and the Return to Film School today in the library. And it was just kind of the final leg. I had about 2 scenes to write to try to get to this sort of third draft of the script. And I'm really happy now that there's a semi-completed, pretty close to being finished script here with minor changes. But I just wanted to show you here. I made 10 copies of this script. It's a 15-page script, 14 pages plus title page, and this is a cover letter. 10 copies. It's 160 pages at $16, 10 cents a page, and it's just maybe it was kind of hard to do it, but you know what? I realized small price to pay for awesome. Small price to pay for awesome, because the budget of this film is going to be way higher than $16, I'm hoping. Tomorrow I'm going to try to deliver all these scripts. I have these folders made for all my professors, all the awesome professors over the years. I'll just show you all of them. My hope is to win everyone over entirely and basically just rally as much support for this project as I can, because I want to be able to do the script right, and I don't want to be blacklisted for life. And I realize I'm sort of scared. I definitely, have doubts about myself, and I do feel a little scared. But the most important thing I want to do is make sure that I never run out of steam on this. I don't want to run short. So I'm just going to keep playing my cool, and all the chips are down on this one. Getting too nervous to wait any longer.
Why are you nervous?
Well, I don't know, just because it's exciting.
So they're good nerves.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What if there were a great filmmaker? One of the greatest filmmakers of history. One that believed he could change the world with his films, and he succeeded. But what if at the highest moment of his career, he realized that somewhere along the way he lost himself, and he decided that he needed to return to film school to find his way again? Well, that filmmaker is Steven Spielberg, and that school is California State University, Long Beach. That's us. And that's the title of my film. I'm just going to write it so that way you can see it.
Is that like Back to the Future type of
Steven Spielberg. Good thing we're not embroidering this. This is really expensive. It's not until he rediscovers the original joy of his filmmaking experience, which occurs in a flashback up here. And what this is very unique. This is a true story. To have an original score that really pays homage to all of his most important works. And there are Easter eggs and other Spielberg bonuses throughout. But eventually, at this point here in the middle, he has to decide to not listen to them and instead rediscover why he began his filmmaking in the first place. I mean, there are other scenes in there that involve, he's making student films, he's holding a boom mic on a set, the silhouette of the pyramid over here. And he's walking away, and the sun's going down. It's like, it's going down. And he's walking this way, and he's dressed like Indiana Jones. He's got the hat. He's got the jacket. See? There we go. Look at that. He's walking off the sunset. Just a few hours away from picking scripts today in class, and I'm both really excited and also, I guess, nervous. Just nervous, but I think I have a fairly decent chance. As of today, there are 10 scripts submitted, and 5 will be picked, so that's at least a 50% chance, which is not bad at all. And reception's been really cool over the last few weeks. The budget just got really serious. Trying to put the budget together on paper, you realize there's a billion extras. There's so many extras. Food's going into the thousands. Camera, depending on what camera we get, could be in the thousands. But 10,000. For a while, where I'm getting 3,000, hopefully. Thought it was going to be 5,000 to 6,000 in the end, but it could be $10,000 to make this. And that extra 7,000 that would have to come from fundraising. And that's definitely something I'm excited to do, and it have to be done in the fall. It's the precipice of a really exciting adventure at CSU Long Beach. It really is. It's a real-life adventure, and I want to do it justice. I want to do Mr. Steven Spielberg justice, and I want to do everyone here at the school justice, because it's also representative of the school and this department, and this humble department. I mean, maybe at another school we'd get $10,000 no problem. Really excited to work with Daniel Ellis, our composer, and my good friend Violet, and several others that I've talked to, and hoping to make the team grow starting right now. I finally finished watching Steven Spielberg's short film Amblin from 1968, his first short film that he got him that television directing contract. But it finally completes my goal of watching every single one of his films that I've been working on for 2 years, so it's kind of a momentous occasion. I can finally say that there's not one piece that I haven't seen, except for some of the TV stuff. This is a list of all of Steven's films that I made. It starts with E.T. I think this is his most personal. I think he says this so many times, and I think this is something that I really want to try to hit at in the movie, rediscovering childhood a little bit. Schindler's List, a classic. AI, just for me, it's so magical. Hook is another movie that's going to be a big influence on the Spielberg project, because it really is about a man who was once a kid but has to relearn how to be a kid. You can see here I'm doing some more research. Had to go back to 1941. Last time I said that we were going to figure out who's going to get the funding, and sadly that was postponed till this coming Monday. So I've just been waiting. One of the discoveries that came out this week in talking with Bonnie was this idea of innocence, and I've been having a really hard time narrowing the idea down, but basically the idea that Steven finds joy from filmmaking. He rediscovers it, but it comes from this innocence. It comes from, the purity of just of doing what we love for no other reasons. Still working on that theme, but I think that's where I want to head. I really do think that this time. Update, unfortunately, did not get the money. Didn't get the $3,000 from the class. And that's hard. I got the email about that about a few hours ago, and it was difficult to see that. But in terms of the 5 films that were picked, I fully support them. I predicted 4 out of the 5. However, I also think that because of the scale on which we ranked our scripts, I actually think that I have a better idea of why mine did not make that cut, because I don't feel that our project, is going to be about life and death situations. I don't think it's going to be about dysfunctional families. I don't think it's going to be about, alcohol or abuse or anger. I don't think it's going to be about those things. My goal is for the audience. I think Steven does this too. I think I've learned so much from Steven, just from studying him. I just like, reading more about him and listening. I've been watching this little 60 minutes interview with him. I am not even 10 minutes in and I've already learned a lot. This is a screen of him with his dad's camera, little film camera, and right there, that's the scene I want. That's the scene of a young boy having so much fun with his camera. It's even in black and white there, so that's something you'll see in the film. This work that I put up for evaluation has been rejected. I've been in this situation before in different ways. The good news is that it's not a rejection of me this time. It's a rejection of my work. But that being said, the good news out of all this is that I'm fully confident about moving forward with the project. In fact, I think that this is a challenge. I think that this is a challenge that says, can you sell this film? Can you actually raise what I believe to be between $5,000 and $10,000 of a budget from the ground up? you would think, why have I worked on this for 2 years? Well, it's real simple. It comes down to just a few points. The first being it's a thank you letter. It's a love letter to Steven for all the work he's done and how much he's inspired us. The second reason is I think that we can show off what we've achieved as students. It's really time to show off what CSULB can do and, draw some attention to us. And finally, I think this is in the real spirit of any Spielberg film, is I want us to just have fun with this one. This is not about, I think I may have already said this, but this is not about an Academy Award winning short. I'm not trying to make a magnum opus. Well, I kind of am. But I'm not trying to make, a beautiful piece of art. We're going to try our best, but it's going to be for you. It's going to be for the audience. It's going to be for any fan of Mr. Spielberg or John Williams. As Steven always says, his partner is the audience. Still confident, and I still have faith that in, about 7 months from now, this film is going to be on the big screen. As I speak right now, I'm uploading the Indiegogo campaign fundraising video to YouTube, and it's been so busy getting that thing together, getting the video together, shooting it, editing it. Luckily I had help of Violet and Adam. This week has been tough. This week has been really tough. I hit some low points a few times. It's like an emotional roller coaster ride, and when you deal with this type of stress, it's a good stress, and yet it's stress that really presses you to the point of, asking the big questions, about, why am I doing this? Is this still worth doing? And, what do I want for my own life? But we're still going to make this. My original goal was, of course, 10,000. My hope is 5,000 online. It truly is. If we can get more, great. If we don't get that much, well, we're just going to have to make do. There it is. Almost exactly 2 months. Just 2 more until we go to shoot. So casting will begin soon, and hopefully so will the money start coming in. So see you later. Good night. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be casting for our main cast, Steven, George, and Maggie. And I'm a little nervous, I guess, but Amber Lynn has done an excellent job setting this up. And we got a few submissions for Steven and George, more for Maggie. Really just crossing my fingers because I feel like Steven is the make or break role on this. But Steven Spielberg said this. He says, "Casting sometimes is fate and destiny more than skill and talent from a director's point of view." And I guess that's both daunting to try to find this character, and yet also, a little bit comforting in knowing that if this project is going to become a reality, I think we inevitably have to find the right person. The schedule is going to be crazy, and just been really contacting everyone that I met over the few years, and plenty of people I haven't yet met. And the team's growing, and haven't raised that much money, but we're really trying. And regardless of that, though, we're on track. We have about 6 weeks to the shoot, and I feel like even though every second counts and I'm pretty tired, we have just enough time to make this pretty good. And it just is going to take an amazing amount of teamwork. So, I got some difficult news. My second producer just dropped. By second, I mean the second producer to drop on me. And the first producer had a drop because of her work, and it was a conflict of interest because it's affiliated with Spielberg. Dropped because she was concerned about the legality of the project and potential risks to get involved with Steven or what else. I really don't understand what even scared her off, but it's really disappointing because I have less than 6 weeks to go. I'm not going to try to convince people to stay on my team, but it sucked up some valuable time, and I'm worried. But I've signed Violet on. The good news is that I've signed Violet on as my head producer now, and I really probably should have done that 3 months ago. But I was nervous, and I didn't want to drag Violet into this. But Violet and I could go so far back, and from the first day of school, and she's been my best friend. I mean, I guess it's just another question of how badly do I want this project to happen. I don't want to do it by myself, and I'm extremely grateful for so many of the people who are already on board, like Violet. Daniel has been undyingly dedicated to this. I feel like everything is being thrown at me, every hurdle. There's so many reasons why people don't want to see me make this film, and I'm appalled, really. I'm appalled. At this point, it's about survival, and I'm not willing to say that I'm defeated yet. And there's so much work to do, but right now, if I were to end now, I think that it would really, really crush me. I don't, I need to make something, even if this is not going to be the perfect film ever. I've got to make something, and I don't think there's any way around it. So the bad news is things have changed a little bit. The good news is that nothing's really changed, because this is still going to happen. It's been a difficult week. It has been an extremely difficult week. And Violet's doing a good job. Mostly a lot of moral support. But, I do really trust her. Then the next day, he found out he had a schedule conflict because he was hired to work on Tom's Blomquist set. And so luckily I pulled in Cheng's song. Cheng and I are currently talking about everything we need to do. We cast for 7 hours on Saturday. I have laid everyone out on the ground, and while there was a decent number of good candidates, I'm pretty sure we've already confirmed Edie. Edie has already been hired as Maggie. Pretty happy about that. And Paul here is going to be Steven's father. This guy, he did a great job being Jack Anderson, basically, but Professor Bill. I keep hearing so many people who have just said no to this project on so many levels. Whether it's my peers in the class, because no one in my class is really working on my project. I didn't get funding. I no longer have priority on equipment because I didn't get funding. And I'm even the provost of the university. I'm still waiting to hear from public affairs as to whether or not my script's going to be approved. Trying to pull everything together. I'm just tired. I've said that before, and yet it's one of these things where kind of reaching this plateau of, does God want me to do the project? And I have to wonder. And I've kind of decided that if the school doesn't approve my project, then I will have to choose not to do the project. Then we'll call it a sign that's strong enough to force me to shut down the production. And I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that, because I would be very sad if this script never saw the light of day. My own school doesn't want to help me make a film about my own school. And that's really difficult to bear. That's like, why? It's really important that I have the school's backing. So if I get the school's backing, great. If I don't, yeah. We still yet to find Steven or Steven's mom. So a little concerned about that, but I have faith in that. We're going to find someone. This came out today. This little poster from the Daily 49er. And as you can see, it is an Indiana Jones parody, complete with logo and sunset and pyramid in it, and For me, that's really cool. That's a really cool thing because it's like a little foreshadow. And if I can just continue to believe that this is meant to happen, it's one of those moments in a film when you're like, is the character going to make it or not? And unfortunately, though, the reality check is that this is not necessarily a film. It's not necessarily going to have a Hollywood ending. There's a real danger here of falling very hard. But just as hard as I would fall, I believe could also be a very great success. You know, it's ironic how many of the same questions I've asked myself that my characters ask in the script. It's very, very ironic. So that is all. You'll hear back about the results very soon. Good night. It's 2 in the morning. Today was an extremely busy day. We're just 3 days away from the shoot. 3 more. And this whole week has been crunch time. That's how I keep explaining it, because everything is all coming together, and yet today I met with Yuka and Violet at 10 a.m. and we worked on the call sheets. Yuka's now first AD. George Brett again, who I found, who was really supportive of this project. I ended up hiring him to help me find Steven, and we did. And now he's in charge of extras, the second AD. So much going on, just everything. But you know, I just want to bring up my thought that fate really has played a really interesting role in this whole process. There's been so many people who came in, many people who dropped out, many people who I thought would be helpful didn't end up working on this project. So many people who many of whom I hadn't even met, have stepped it up and made this project their own. Hey, it's the night before the big day. It's about 9 p.m. on the 13th of January. And I've been working all week, non-stop on this project. I am so very tired. And some scares, but we've got them covered. And, you know, we talk a lot about stakes and wants in film, in narrative, and I want to make this, and I want this to be good. I want it really very much. And so before I go to bed and get up at 5:30 tomorrow morning, I want to show you the train that we got. I got 2 of them, and pretty cheap, but they work really well. It comes with a lot of track, and it comes with these little cars, so it's actually pretty cool. And you ask, what does the director do day before the shoot? Well, plays with trains. So, and I think actually playing with them made me realize how much I missed them, and why Steven would be so obsessed with them as a kid. So, bye. I'll see ya real soon. Hey, today's Thursday, April 4th, 2013, and I'm here in my room editing. About 2/3 done with the edit. Still got the ending basically to do, but wow, it has been a speed run to get this cut in the last 2 to 3 weeks. It's kind of been up and down. I've been kind of doing scene by scene and getting feedback and trying to figure out how to do this the best way under the time constraint. And I'm happy to say that I actually am pretty happy with what's coming out. And what's yet to come is the best part. There was a question of whether I still wanted to meet the May showcase deadline. So being about less than a month at this point to the deadline for that. And I've decided that, yes, I do want to show it in a month because there's a hype about it, there's a finality about it. If it goes on, if we don't show it ultimately until December, I think that would be disappointment. And even if it's like 98, 99% complete, with still some touching I have to do following the showcase, that's okay. We still have to finalize all the music with Daniel, have to do all the audio post-production with our new sound editors, Geraldo and Nicole, both wonderful people. Still trying to get that CG scene shot, still trying to shoot the pickup shot, and I mean, there's still work to be done, and oh gosh, time crunch. But you know what? We're gonna do it. I swear. On this day, I will not give up until I have to, but I won't. And really proud, really. Oh, and Eric. Eric's designing the poster. It's gonna be fantastic. He's thinking about doing an oil painting. We got together. I just met him last week. And when we were designing it, he really just upped the game for me. You know, I kind of forgot how good this could be. And when he started showing me what he was doing, it was so much bigger and better than what I was thinking. It felt like, even if it was just the poster. So, and lastly, we're actually probably going to get a chance to record with the symphony orchestra. Daniel told me last week. I was so thrilled to hear it. We're going to record basically the graduation ceremony through the credits, so maybe 2 to 3 minute cue. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be amazing. And I have full confidence that we'll get to that point. But that's the reward. That's the payoff. And if I can get there, we'll be good to go. So until maybe the end of this, see you next time. The film is finally done. It is finally finished for now. The showcase cut came together just tonight. I was at school for about 6-7 hours straight just working on this with Josh Himes and the color. And on Monday we recorded with the symphony orchestra, and that was fantastic. Congratulations to Daniel. And Geraldo and Nicole did a great job with sound design. And we even got that animated hat from Josh's brother. And boy, it's all just come together at this 11th hour. And I feel tired. I don't know if you can see this, but my eyes are very tired. I've had minimal sleep at best. I am somewhere at peace because I'm excited that we're going to be showing this movie. I think it was the right choice. There was a point at which I could have decided to postpone showing the movie. But you know what? We gotta do it now, and you have to finish. That was my promise, was to finish this in a timely fashion. And I think showing it now that will be the case. So, and I'm very happy with everything that's come out. Boy, Daniel and that music, fantastic. Truly amazing. It was perfect. The 3-minute suite for the end of the movie. It's just perfection. And Josh did a fantastic job with color. And it sounds great too. That would have never happened had it been me trying to, do the audio myself. So, for now, we're about 3 days away from the showcase, but for now, I am good. And really, grateful, I guess, but tired. Good night. It's the night before the premiere of the Spielberg project. It has been 9 months in the making, about over 1,000 hours of work on my part, and countless more on hundreds of people's talents and skills. And what's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, I want people to like it. I want people to have fun watching it. I want it to be interesting too. I want it to be intelligent. And I want... The music is wonderful. So many wonderful things. And then ultimately, or will it leave me, I guess. So, don't know. I mean, for all I know, tomorrow will be great and Sunday will just be like any other day. But a lot of friends are coming. Lots of friends. The Facebook group, let's see here, currently has, let's see here, 179 likes on the page. And also, on the actual event, we have 43 going. That's so many people. And I don't know if they'll all come, but I am very excited to just share the wonderful work that everyone has put together. And I don't know how or why it came together, but I think really it was just the God's grace for allowing, me and to persevere and at least do something that I think that I am very proud of, regardless of I want people to like it, and I think they will, because I am proud of this product and the work that everyone's done. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Well, congrats. You did it. You watched 30 minutes of me rambling on, and hey, maybe you got something from it. I wanted to just fill you in on maybe a couple of holes in the story. After we shot the film in January 2013, I had brought aboard an editor. And unfortunately, the editor took a couple of months to do his thing, and unfortunately brought me back with basically one partially finished scene, maybe about 60 seconds. Fortunately, it was unusable, so basically I had to go ahead and cut the film myself in probably under a month. Another thing that happened was we got to record with the symphony orchestra at CSULB, and it was a really awesome, enjoyable time. But about an hour after we recorded, I got a call and they said, actually all the recordings were corrupted or they didn't work out. So what you actually hear in the movie was a completely reconstructed recording of that symphony orchestra that was stitched together from a whole bunch of videos that we had taken during the recording session. And that night I went home and I spent 15 hours straight kind of just stitching piece by piece the 3 minutes of music back together. So that was another little crazy hurdle. And then finally, at the very end, when we wanted to screen the film, because the film was not a film that had been officially funded, it was not permitted to be in the official CSULB screening block. And so we ended up screening in the a la mode block, and it was kind of crazy because the person who put it together had just sort of thrown a whole bunch of other random skit level, really kind of weird, gross kind of movies into that block. So a lot of my friends and family were like, what was all that other stuff? And then it ended with our film, so maybe that was to our benefit because our film was significantly higher quality than the things that had played before it. And I'm going to end with this, which is simply to say that that year there was about $30,000 that was distributed between about a dozen films. In my class they picked 5, but there was about a dozen films that were selected, and of that dozen films that each received somewhere around $3,000, I recall only maybe about 4, maybe 5 of them actually showing at the final showcase, and to this day I still haven't seen the majority of the result of that 30 grand. So why do I bring these points up? First of all, I wanted to tell you the truth because it's been a long time and it was a little too sensitive to release this stuff earlier. But now looking back at it, I think my takeaway from it is that this is not actually anything unique. Every film or every creative endeavor, anything that requires a lot of teamwork, you're always going to have people who help you, people who drop out, things that promises made or promises that aren't kept, and you have to just prepare for that. Prepare for things you think should happen or will happen, they won't. So don't like get yourself too personally involved. When I look at those vlogs, I see how much the film had been connected to me personally. So you're gonna have to detach yourself a little bit and just sort of get the job done. And all I really want to say was, you know, it's been just about 10 years. On Friday it'll been 10 years since I moved to Long Beach, went to Long Beach State, and started making movies. And here we are 10 years later. I'm extraordinarily lucky to have had supportive friends and family. And hopefully moving forward, maybe into writing, we'll see. That's obviously really important to me, the story. So thanks for watching. Happy, 6th-year anniversary of Steven Spielberg and the Return to Film School. And if you haven't already done it, make sure you follow our pages online, and there's links and the description and whatnot. So just to see what happens next. And there's some really cool Ash's Homecoming behind the scenes videos coming out real soon with the DVDs just about finished. So look forward to that. Talk to you again soon. But thanks for just being honest. So that's what that was, and maybe I'll try to be more honest if there are more of these updates. So, bye!